On Friday, September 27th, hundreds of thousands of youth mobilized to bring attention to climate change. Among them, students from Kahnawake Survival School walked from the school to a tobacco burning ceremony at Karonhianónhnha. Afterwards, some ventured across the river to Montreal to participate in the larger march, including some staff from the Kahnawake Environment Protection Office. We spoke to Kaylia Marquis and KTV videographer Justin Douglas brought us images of the march.
We weren't sure really what it was going to be like in the city. It was a little concerning, I think, to think of hundreds of thousands of people descending on the downtown core. But we took the metro. It was easy. It was not too busy. And we got off maybe 2 blocks from where the walk was actually happening. So we kind of just joined the walk where they were passing by, and we happened to be about 2 blocks behind the front. And we didn't realize that we had done that the entire time. So we marched along, and there were a few stops. I think what they were doing was stopping at the front to take pictures and stuff like that. So there were a couple of occasions where we stopped and we just stood there for a little while. It was really amazing. Just the energy was, you could feel it on the street. There were a lot of spectators, and it's like people who were marching but took breaks, and there were a lot of really interesting and funny and obscene signs, and there was a lot to look at, even if you were walking with the same people. And I think for us at the office, it was really uplifting as well, because we get to see a lot of the bad things about the environment. We're often focusing on how to improve problems in the environment. So it was nice to see that there's that level of support out there in the wider world for protecting and improving our environment.
I think it's important for our future generations to have a clean earth to live on, and without that, we won't have the future in the future. We won't have the next 7 generations, is what we have to look out for every single day.
Generally, the most impactful things right now are probably not to buy fast fashion, not to buy clothes that you're going to throw out in 6 months. It's the second biggest polluter in the world. The second thing would probably be to avoid eating factory farmed meat as much as possible. I mean, I know people some people think it's not a meal unless there's meat in there, but if you can get hunted meat, fished, foraged, if you've come across the food yourself, then great. But if you're buying it from a grocery store, it's probably has some pretty horrendous environmental impact down the line. The other thing is to check your investments. If you have a pension, mutual funds, anything like that, you might be an investor in the Dakota Access Pipeline. You don't even realize it. Check what your bank invests in, stuff like that. But if you were looking for something to do literally this weekend, you can come get some trees. One of the environmental impacts of climate change is allowing invasive species to come into the community. So the emerald ash borer is killing off. We have about 100,000 ash trees in our community, and most of them will die unless they're treated. So it's going to change the landscape of our community. So for this year, we got 1,100 trees to help re-tree and regreen the community. So we have a bunch that we had saved for people to plant at home. So just get in touch with Jody Daibo or Cole McCumber here at the Environment Protection Office. We have sugar maple trees, we have apple trees, plum trees, willows, oak trees. We have a whole bunch of different types of trees depending on what your situation is and where you live and what works for you. But if you're looking to get your hands dirty and feel like you've made a tangible difference, that's one way to do it today.